Joining me now, Stacy Washington, host of Stacy on the Right on Sirius XM. Stacy, so good to see you. How does Trump sort of capitalize on the discontent among some, not a majority, but a growing number of Black Americans, given this horrible economy for working people and still the open border? How does he keep chipping away at the Democrat support?
So, Laura, this is something he's actually really good at, and that is focusing in on his accomplishments from the first term and connecting those to the issues Americans are facing because of the Harris agenda, and then talking about what he'll do if he's back in office in 2025. And I think all of the metrics point to him being able to do that. Americans have noticed, regardless of skin tone, that they have fewer jobs, that more foreign-born people were hired last year than American-born, that we've lost manufacturing jobs, 34,000 of them. A lot of these statistics, they're taken for granted by Democrats who think that Black people don't care about policy. But guess what, Laura? I have a bottom line. I have a budget. I have an ability to measure whether or not I'm better off now than I was 4 years ago. And Black Americans are noticing that. Trump only has to point it out that he did a better job than Biden and Harris, and he's coasting in there. I mean, we see the trends moving in his direction.
I saw some influencers, I think there were younger influencers online who were, I think they were Black. They were, I think they were Black Americans. But they were saying they thought Obama's scolding of Black men was really insulting. And they were kind of really taken aback by it. I didn't think much of it at the time, except as typical Obama. But that might have been a huge, huge turning point, and not the way they thought it would be.
So, Laura, it's like they can't read the room. This is the Democrat Party of 20 years ago, where they would just give Black Americans their marching orders. They'd head over to church, head over to a few union halls, tell Black Americans who they should vote for, and that was it, right? No campaigning, no issues. Now they're really looking at an angry Black electorate that has been dumped on because of the migrant invasion, and it's their communities that are being hit the hardest, and they blame Democrats for it. And Obama, he doesn't have a great record on Black policy from his time in office. So he's kind of coming out and everybody's like, who asked you? Like, where did you come from? They're not reading the room.
Well, this MSNBC panel, so everyone's clear, was a pro-Trump group of people that they highlighted. I still can't believe they put it on. And then when MSNBC heard something that they didn't like, they kind of put a disclaimer on screen. Check this out.
I saw it.
To be clear, the voters I spoke with here are not representative of Black voters in Philadelphia on whole. For the record, multiple studies have shown that undocumented migrants are statistically less likely to commit violence than American citizens.
So, Stacey, I guess, the damage that illegals do crime-wise is just collateral damage, and it's not that much, right? Unless you're the one who lost somebody you love.
Yeah, unless you're related to Lake and Riley, or Jocelyn Narangre, you really don't have anything to say. Is what she's dismissing the harm that's been done. And what about all of the different people who've been harmed whose stories didn't make the news, Laura?
You bet. You bet. Stacey, love your show. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.